Today's Namaste Yoga is a beginner's class on how to do sun salutations. Hello and welcome to episode 294 of Namaste Yoga. I'm Dr. Melissa West and welcome to Namaste Yoga. I'm so glad you've joined us today. We are going to begin today just by welcoming you, and I want to thank Squeeze Yoga Clothing for my clothes. Today I'm wearing a long sleeve red bamboo top, and I chose it because it has this yellow lotus flower on it, which I thought looked like the sun because we're doing sun salutations. And I'm wearing long gray leggings today, and so thank you Squeeze Yoga Clothing for my clothes, and thank you to Dusky Leaf for my props. Today you're going to need a yoga mat. If you don't have a yoga mat, you can probably just do this on your floor or your rug at home, because if you're new you might not have props yet. I am also going to use my yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, that's fine too. You can just take the strap from your bathrobe or an old man's necktie. That would work fine too. And I am, towards the end of the class, going to use this bolster. And if you don't have a bolster, that's fine too. You could stack up a couple of cushions from your couch, or you could roll up a blanket, and that would work just fine as well. So no need to worry. I know you're new and you won't have props yet, but that's fine too. So a couple of things before you get started. When you begin anything new that involves moving your body, you need to check in with yourself with any injuries or health conditions that you might have, and make sure that you've spoken to a medical professional about those health conditions so that you're clear on what you can and can't do. So make sure you've had a conversation with your medical doctor about what makes your medical condition or your injury worse. And then you become your own best teacher in a yoga class, and you know what you need to avoid. So even if I tell you to do something, then you know what not to do, and then you don't do it. So you keep yourself safe in the yoga class. And then you also need to ask your medical doctor, what makes my health condition or my injury better? And then you can make sure that you practice those things and take care of yourself. So as always, you are your own best teacher. I'm not in your body, you're in your body. So you need to listen to the own cues of your body. So if something doesn't feel right, it's probably because it isn't right. And then you need to back off, and always have a good conversation with your medical doctor. Okay, before I share with you a couple of testimonials from some of our beginner yogis about how the beginner yoga classes have helped them, I want to give you a preview of exactly what you can expect in this yoga class, so that you know if it's going to work for you or not, and then you can decide whether to continue or to let this go so that you don't have to waste your time. So this is just going to be, I'm going to show you quickly everything that we're going to do in this class, and don't worry, we're going to go step by step, and I'm going to show you how to do everything in complete detail. But this is just so that you have an idea, so that you know what's coming, and you can feel safe knowing that, hey, this is going to work for me, or this really isn't going to work for me, and then you can move on and find something that will. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do in this class is a guided relaxation and a centering. And that will just be to transition you from your day-to-day life, and I'll guide you with some breathing here and center you. From there, we're going to do Utpadangusthasana, hand to big toe pose to stretch out the back of your leg. We'll give lots of options here, and we'll do this on both sides. We're also going to open your leg out to the side, and we're going to cross it over your body. After we do that on both sides, we're going to do a pose to stretch out your glutes and your outer thigh. And then from there, we're going to do a pose to warm up your spine and to help your spine get ready for some of the back bends that are in sun salutations. So some cat and some cow. And then once we've warmed up your spine and got it ready for that, we're going to come down onto your belly and we're going to do some warm-ups for the cobra, the upward facing dog that's in the sun salutations. And we're going to just do this nice and easy, and you're going to go at your own pace for something for what works in your body. And then we're going to do lunge pose on both sides. I'm going to give you lots of cues, step by step, how to do it. We're going to do a plank pose. I'm going to give you lots of options for your wrists here, and I'm going to give you modifications. And then we're going to do some tricep push-ups. Again, I'm going to give you options for your wrists and lots of modifications. And then we're going to do down dog. Again, lots of modifications. And from there, we'll be standing up. We'll do a pose called mountain pose or Tadasana. And then we're going to do standing forward fold or Uttanasana. I'm going to give lots of options and modifications here. And then we'll actually do the sun salutations, the round through sun salutations. So I might as well show you that so you know what that looks like too. So one round will come up, we'll fold forward, you step back, come into plank. I'll give you the option to drop your knees, tricep push up, inhale up, downward facing dog. I'm showing you quickly. We're going to go through this slowly. You're going to come up. And bring your hands to your heart. So we'll go do that nice and slow with loads of instructions. And then after, we'll do that on both sides. We'll do it nice and slow. And we'll do that a few times. And then we'll do a recline twist. Because there's no twist in sun salutations, we're going to do this twist where you're lying on your back. And then at the end, you're going to lie on your back in a pose we call Savasana or corpse pose, where you just take it all in and allow your body to receive what's happened to you. Okay, so that's what you can expect from today's class on how to do sun salutations, where I'm going to show you step by step with very detailed instructions on how to do that. So if that sounds like it's going to work for you, then I just want to read you a couple of testimonials from my students so that to give you a little more assurance, to let you know how other people experience my class, to see if it's a good fit for you as well. So this is a testimonial that came from Nellie via email, and she says, "Thank you so much. Your beginners classes are priceless. I looked on the internet for yoga classes, but all I saw was impossible for me. Suffering seriously from 2 slip discs for more than 20 years, I was physically very limited. Then I found Namaste Yoga, and yoga became not only doable, but improved my physical health considerably. You offer many alternatives during the poses, and I always manage to do them. I feel really safe because you always think of multiple physical limitations that people have, and that's so precious. I saw that nowhere else. You are a teacher of exception. I'm so grateful to begin my yoga journey with you, and I know for sure this is just the beginning. Much love, Nellie." And then I have one more, and this is from BJ, who, like Nellie, has been doing 31 of our beginner yoga classes, one each day in August. So they have a lot of experience, these two people, with our beginner yoga classes. So she says, VJ says, "The August Beginner Yoga Challenge is profound on so many levels for me. I become clearer about each major pose and the relevance and importance of the preparatory exercises." So you'll see today we're going to spend a lot of time preparing you for the sun salutation. We're not going to just dive right into it. I am also becoming more familiar with the language of yoga. As the beginner classes are the basis to everything we do on the mat, I was surprised at where I could refocus my attention on the body not yet considered to give me strength and greater alignment. Melissa's explanations are concise and well considered, and sometimes I feel like she is in my brain, preempting challenging areas and helping me over the hurdles I am going through. A standout piece of advice for me is when Melissa said not to do the exercise, but allow the exercise to do you. For me, this was a breakthrough, and Melissa is a wealth of incredible gems like this. I find I am checking in with myself more, letting go of control and releasing deeply and more consciously, allowing the inner musculature to do its job it's meant to do. So what is a real treat on another level is to watch Melissa herself transform from the earlier beginner sessions she films to the sessions she presents now. It truly has been like watching a metamorphosis. Melissa's transformation is a total inspiration. Her teaching has deepened, her innate and physical beauty has blossomed, and that in itself speaks mountains. Namaste Yoga is real yoga for real people. And like Melissa, by showing up and returning to the basics and continuing the practice, I believe I am being given the opportunity to be the best version of myself. Melissa is the mentor I've been looking for. Namaste Yoga and the Beginner's Challenge has offered me structure and the support in my daily practice of yoga. I encourage everyone to return to the basics or make a commitment to begin with the basics. It's so worth it. With love across the oceans, BJ. So BJ's from Australia, and I'm here in Canada. Specifically, we live on a small island called Vancouver Island in the Pacific Ocean. So it's funny, BJ's on an island in the Pacific Ocean as well, just on two different sides of the world. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to get you to lie down, and I'm going to teach you how to lie down first. So if you're still with us, I'm going to get you to lie down on your back. So you're going to lie down, and I like to take a moment first to bend my knees, to press my feet flat on the floor, and then just to curl my tailbone under. That helps to lengthen out my low back, and it will yours too. And if you have any low back problems, you're going to just keep your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor like this. Another thing that I like to do is just tuck my shoulder blades underneath me with my palms turned up. And then if you don't have any low back problems, you can always lengthen your legs out. But if that causes any tenderness in your low back, do just keep your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And then if you can do anything to make yourself a little bit more comfortable, do that. Another thing you should check in with is your neck and your neck alignment. If your chin is way higher than your forehead, it's probably a good idea to put a cushion or a folded blanket underneath your head so that your chin and your forehead are at the same level. So you'll feel that in your neck if it doesn't feel quite right. Just put something under your head. And then from here, you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. So just breathe out through your mouth and allow yourself to arrive here now. So that's just a breath to allow you to transition from the busyness of your day-to-day life to come into a slower pace on your yoga mat. And then you're going to begin to breathe in and out through your nose. And you're going to stay here lying on your back, and I'm going to sit up so I can give you some instructions for the guided relaxation here and the centering here to, again, help you transition from the busyness of your day-to-day life to the slower, more inward focus of your yoga practice now. So continue to breathe in and out through your nose. And gradually over the next 5 or 6 breaths, let your breath drop deeper into your belly. And it may even help you to place your hands onto your belly so you can feel your breath moving in your belly. And as you breathe out, particularly, feel your belly drop back towards the ground. So each time you breathe out, feel your belly button move back towards your spine. Feel your whole abdominal wall sink towards the ground every time you breathe out. Okay, from there you're going to stay lying on your back, and you're going to, I think I might have forgotten to show you this, but it's not a big deal. You're going to, if you don't have both your knees bent, you're going to bend your knees. You're going to bring your arms up beside you, and you're going to inhale, take both your arms overhead, lying on the ground. So we call Namaste Yoga real yoga for real people, because we are all real people. And that means we all have limitations, and sometimes those limitations are physical, and sometimes they are mental, sometimes they are emotional. So for the last little while, I've had a shoulder injury, so you'll notice that there are some things that I can't do. So one of them is bring my left arm up overhead. So I would like you to do this with both your arms. Take a big inhale, take both your arms overhead with your shoulders completely relaxed on the ground, because you're going to be doing this standing up. And what this does is it teaches you to keep your shoulders relaxed while you do this, so that you can breathe in, inhale, take your arms overhead, and then exhale and relax them down beside your body. Inhale. And this is really great for your shoulder joints, because it takes them through their full range of motion. And it's great for lubricating the joints. And if you have arthritis in your shoulders, it's good for that. And also for any of you who work on computers with micro movements of your mouse and keyboarding and texting, that tends to really seize up this shoulder joint. And so it helps that these big movements like this help to counter those really tiny movements like that. So let's do one more like that. Inhale, take your arms all the way overhead. And exhale, bring them all the way down. Great. So in our membership site, we have a whole series, 10 classes, shoulder shorts, that focus on big movements like this through your shoulders to overcome those really micro movements that we have a lot in our culture from keyboarding and texting that really make your shoulders stiff. So next you're going to take your strap, either your yoga strap if you have one, or your strap from your bathrobe or necktie, and you're going to place it around the ball of your foot. Start with your right foot. You're going to take your right leg straight in the air. And you're going to draw your right leg in until you feel stretch happening on the back of your leg. There's a huge spider on the bottom of my foot. And if you have any back issues, you're going to keep your left leg bent. And otherwise, you could lengthen your left leg out, whatever feels best in your body today. This is a great one to stretch out your hamstrings and your calf muscle. And because we spend a lot of time sitting, this really shortens our calf muscle. And when you wear shoes, all shoes, unless you wear shoes that are negative heels, they all have a little heel on them, so they really shorten your calf muscles. So this really helps to stretch out the whole back of your leg. And if you have a really active lifestyle where you're running or cycling and things like that, going up and down stairs, this will help to, that also shortens the back of your legs. This will help to open that up. So one of the things that's challenging about sun salutations is the walkthrough. And one of the limiting factors of the walkthrough is tight hamstrings. So this is helping to loosen up your hamstrings so that that walkthrough will be less challenging. And open your right leg out to the side, just until you feel a stretch on the inside of your thigh. Then draw your navel back to your spine and bring your right leg back to the center, and you're going to cross it over your body. So you're also taking your hip through its full range of motion as you draw it in, open, and cross it. So it's good for if you have arthritis in your hip as well. But flexibility in your hip is another limiting factor for walking through in sun salutation. So this will also help for the walk through in sun salutation as well. Breathing in and out through your nose. And then bring your right leg back center, draw it in again. And you can lower your right leg down, unhook your strap. Just take a moment to feel the difference between your right and your left leg. And then you're going to draw your left leg in. So again, if you have any issues with low back problems, bend your right leg as you draw your left leg in. And we're stretching out the whole back of your left leg. So you want to feel sensation in the back of your left leg. Let your hands be loose and your shoulders be heavy on the ground, and focus on breathing in and out through your nose. And then open your left leg out to the side. I'm going to slide my right leg out. This is just a little easier to balance my legs there. You want to stop when you feel a stretch happening in the belly of your inner thigh muscle, not in your knee joint. If you feel it in your knee joint, you've gone too far. And then you're going to come back to the center and start to cross your left leg over your body until you feel sensation in the outside of your left leg. Keep drawing your leg towards your torso as well, towards your body, your upper body. Breathing in and out through your nose. This sensation will probably be quite intense. And then come back to the center, draw your left leg in again, and then you're going to release your left leg down. And you can put your strap off to the side. And from here, we're going to stretch out your hips a little bit to prepare you for that walk through again. So cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh, open your right knee out to the side, and then you're going to draw your left knee in towards your chest until you feel a stretch in your outer right thigh, right into your right buttocks. You'll reach your right hand through that hole, the keyhole here. Hold on behind your left knee. And this is a great stretch for your glutes and your outer thighs. And as I said, one of the limiting factors for the walkthrough and the sun salutations is tightness in your hips. So this is going to help alleviate that tightness so that walkthrough will be a little easier for you. And then you're going to release your left leg down, uncross your right leg, place your right foot on the floor with your knee bent, cross your left ankle over the top of your right thigh, open your left knee out to the side, draw your right leg in towards your torso, till you feel something happening in your right buttocks and your left buttocks and your left outer thigh. Reach your left arm through that keyhole. Hold on with both hands behind your right knee and feel a stretch happening in your outer left thigh and your left buttocks. And again, this is to stretch your glutes and your hips so that that walk through in the sun salutation is a little easier for you. And then you can release your legs down. You're going to roll to your right side and you're going to make your way up onto all fours. We're going to start warming up your spine to start getting you ready for the back bend that comes in the sun salutation. So for this, you're going to come onto all fours, and I'm going to give you some options for your wrists here. So this one, you're going to place your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. So to take care of your wrists, you're going to spread your fingers nice and wide and reach the way out into the webs of your hands. If this still bothers your wrist to be in a flexed position, you can come onto your fists so that your wrists are straight, or you can come down onto your forearms. So whatever works best for you in your body. You could also roll up your mat. So that your wrists are elevated where your heels of your hands are on your mat and your fingertips are off. So do whatever works best for you in your body to care for your wrists if you have wrist issues here. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to breathe out and round up through your back, drop the crown of your head towards the ground, and then you're going to breathe in and arch through your back, reach your head and your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Breathe out, round up through your back, and breathe in and arch your back so that you're moving your spine in two opposing directions. And we just put a whole 7-class series on our membership site called Neck, Back, and Nervous System RX that goes into huge detail on cat pose. And our members are just loving that. So if this is something you'd like to know more about, we've got loads more about this on our membership site. Okay, and then from here we're going to come down and you're going to continue to warm up your spine for that with little tiny baby cobras. And this is for the back bend at the beginning of sun salutations. So you're going to lie on your stomach, and let's get your low back all ready for this too. So wiggle your hips from side to side. You're going to tuck your toes under, lengthen out through one heel, lift your knee and lengthen out through the heel. Tuck your other toes under, lift your knee, lengthen out through your heel. So I find that really lengthens out your low back really nicely so you don't jam up your low back at all. Your hands are underneath your shoulders. Tuck your tailbone under by pressing the front of your pelvis into the ground. That protects your low back too. And then you're going to just lift your chest off the ground. Keep your ears back over your shoulders. And you don't have to lift high. This is just a little warm up. And then exhale and lower down. Breathe in and lift up. Breathe out, lower and down. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, lower down. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, lower down. Breathe in, lift up. And breathe out, lower down. And then you're going to push up onto all fours. And we're going to come into lunge pose. And this is another movement that is in your sun salutation. It's a great movement that will help to open up your hips. So you're going to walk your left leg through. Take your hands on either side of your left foot, and you'll feel an opening in the front of your right hip. And here, what we're actually going to do, you may even want to take, if you have blocks, put them on either side of your foot. If you don't have blocks, you could stack some books or use some soup cans or apple juice cans. Do those exist anymore? Juice, Tetris boxes, that kind of stuff. Almond milk Tetris boxes, those kinds of things. You could use those. And what we're going to do is we're going to rock back and forth here between lunge pose and a little hamstring stretch here. So you want to feel that stretch just to help us prepare our hips and hamstrings for that walk through again, because that seems to be the thing that I know that most beginners have troubles with. And the other thing you can do here is double up your mat or put a blanket underneath this back knee if that's bothering you at all as well. So you could fold the mat over under your knee, or you could put a blanket underneath your knee if it's bothering you. And then you're going to take a step back with your left foot, and you're going to walk your right foot through. And this could be a challenging pose for balance. So if that's the case, really sink down through your front right foot. The blocks can help with that too, I think. And then you're going to rock forward and back again. So just to give some time to stretch out your front leg and to stretch out your front hip here. Okay, then you're going to bring your legs back, and we'll put those blocks off to the side, or your Tetris boxes or your cans, your books, and we're going to do a plank pose now. So plank pose comes in sun salutations, and it's a great pose for core strength. We're going to go over all the benefits of the poses once we go through the sun salutation. So the way that plank pose works, I'm going to give you some options for your wrists. You're going to come up onto all fours, and again, same options for your wrists. I would come up onto fists or roll up the front of your mat again and come onto the heels of your hands with your fingertips off. So look after your wrists in whatever way you need. It's not really a great one if you have carpal tunnel syndrome. So take a good option for your wrists if wrists are an issue. The way that it works is you take your right leg back and then your left leg back, but that can be a lot for beginners. So I would give you the option to lower your knees. Okay? So that's a good option with knees down in plank pose. Okay, and we will come to that pose again in the sun salutations. So come on back. And the other thing that comes up in the sun salutations is you have to lower yourself down. So the thing that I find really helpful to go through with this one is the arm movement first. So if you take your hands out in front of you, and that's how your arms are going to be on the ground first, is in plank pose. And then the way that it works is it's a tricep push-up. So your arms have to come straight back, and this requires a lot of strength in your triceps. But a lot of people also ask me how to get rid of that wavy arm when you when you wave goodbye and then your arms keep waving. I get asked that question a lot. And this is how to do it. You have to do these tricep push-ups. So people also say they don't like doing this one, but this is how to build that strength and get rid of that. So you're going to take your arms in front, and then you're going to slide them alongside your body. So you can actually believe that you can do this movement this is without doing it weight bearing. So one thing you could do to build up the strength to do this would be to come and do it standing. Shall we do it? Yeah. Let's all do it standing so that you know you can do it, because it's a lot easier. We'll do it standing, and we'll do it against a tree so you can see me doing it. So you're going to do it against a wall, and I'm going to do it against a tree. So you're going to do that same motion. You're going to keep taking your arms out in front of you, find a wall or a tree, and you're just going to go around the side. Sure. Okay. So you're going to put your arms in front of you, and you're going to do that same motion. Your elbows come in tight to you, and you're going to press up. So first, you're going to try it standing. So there's your tricep push-up standing. Yay, we can all do it. So much easier here. So it would be a really good idea for you to practice in this way for a while. I feel so successful right now. Because of this shoulder injury right now, my shoulders are really weak, so it's really hard for me to do this too. Okay, so then you get to see all our equipment here maybe. Looks a little messy. So then we're going to try it on the mats, because now you're going to change your orientation to gravity. It's going to be a little more challenging. So you could keep doing it against the tree. That's okay. Or you can try it from all fours. You're going to do it with your elbows straight back. Inhale, lower down. And exhale, press up. Hey, you know what? Because I had all that practice against the tree, it was a lot easier here. So inhale, lower down. Exhale, press up. And you know what? If this is hard right now, I totally get it. That's fine. You can keep practicing against the tree. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, press up. And the good thing about when you do the sun salutations, you don't actually have to come back up. So let's just stretch out your wrists a little bit after that. So keep practicing them against the wall. That's really good. I'm going to do that at home from now on as I build up my strength from this injury. Okay. Then the next thing that comes up in the sun salutations after that, you do the tricep push-up, you come into up dog, then comes down dog. Oh my gosh, when I first saw this pose in yoga, when I first started taking yoga and I was a brand new and I was a beginner, and everybody called this, I think I had a video, and it was for beginners. Or maybe it wasn't for, anyway. They called it a rest pose, and I thought, this is not a rest pose for me. This is like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And yeah, so let me show you some tricks for this pose that'll make it a little easier for you. Okay, so again, same kind of things for looking after your wrists. The best thing you could do here would be to you could use the wall again. Would you be annoyed if I showed them how to do down dog against the wall? If I walked around to the wall? Should we cut for that then?
Sure, show.
Okay. You show me walking again? Okay. Okay, so down dog against the wall is probably the easiest way to begin learning down dog. So here we are going over to the wall again. So you take your arms against the wall and you reach out and you do like that. Then it's way easier on the wrists and everything, and you get a nice stretch through your spine. This would be a really nice way to begin. You could do it with a chair too. So this would be a great way to start. Okay, so then let's talk about doing it on the mat. So for wrists, a nice thing to do is to have the front of your mat rolled up so that you can have the heels of your hands on the mat and your fingertips off the mat. And then I would recommend that you can have your knees bent, your hands and your wrists wide apart on the mat. That's going to help too. And your feet wider apart. That's going to help as well. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, exhale. You're going to bend your knees a lot. That'll help you straighten your spine more. So actually this will be easier for me to show if I don't use my one arm because that arm can't come. I have limited range of motion on it. So to it, turn, yeah. If you bend your knees more, you'll be able to straighten your spine more. And also if you have your legs wider, it'll be easier for you to do as well. Okay. And also just let your head dangle as much as possible here as well. We have a whole beginner class on downward facing dog as well that you can check out. So those are some tips. Bend your knees as much as possible. Focus on lengthening your spine more than worrying about having your heels reach the ground at the beginning, because at the beginning the limiting factor is going to be the backs of your legs, your calves and your hamstrings. Okay, so don't worry about getting your heels to the ground. It's not a big deal, in my opinion. Okay, so that's your downward facing dog. And then we're going to practice a couple of things that are going to make that walk through a little bit easier as well for you. So let's do it from cat pose first. One of the things is you're going to exhale, round up through your back, and really think about drawing your navel back towards your spine. And that's that kind of levity that you're going to need when you do the walk through. So inhale, arch, and then you're going to exhale, round up through your spine, and then draw your knee through. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round up through your spine and draw your knee through. Okay. Inhale, arch. And this is the kind of movement, trust me, it's going to happen when you do your walk through in your sun salutation. So round up through your spine and draw your knee through. See how that's kind of what's going to happen. Your leg's going to come through when you walk through in sun salutation. Inhale. Exhale, round through. Now you can stay with this, or you can try something like that in downward facing dog. So you can come up onto downward facing dog and you can try drawing your knee to your elbow, but that's pretty advanced for a beginner. I would recommend staying with the cat pose one probably right now. Okay, so we are really getting there. We are ready to come up to standing. So make your way up to standing. Okay, 2 more poses and then we're totally ready to go for it. Are you getting excited? The anticipation is building. So this one is called Tadasana, mountain pose. You're going to lift and spread your toes, lengthen your legs out long out of your pelvis. You'll feel your spine lengthening up. And this is where you start your sun salutation. So that one's pretty simple, and we'll go over all the benefits of it in our first run through. And then after you do Tadasana, you come into standing forward fold. So bend your knees. I'm going to recommend you bend your knees a lot. You're going to roll your pelvis over your bent knees. Here's an option here in this pose. And this is where I stayed for a long time in standing forward fold. It was with and I do it still here a lot, because I have really low blood pressure and I get headaches and migraines a lot. So it's hard for me to drop my head all the way down in this pose a lot of the time. So you can stay here with your elbows on the tops of your thighs, or you can drop all the way down and drop the crown of your head to your ground. But do bend your knees deeply.
Because especially when you're beginners, it tends that your backs of your legs are pretty tight.
Okay, are you ready? We're going to go posture by posture through sun salutations. Look at the benefits, what you're going to receive from each pose. We're going to do it nice and slow. Okay, so first pose, Tadasana. This pose is really great because it's a great look at you get to be in your bare feet and you get to spread your toes out of shoes, which keep your toes pushed together in shoes. You get to have your heels on the ground, which lengthens your calves out. It gets you to strengthen your arches and your ankles. It helps you to work on your balance. You get to feel the alignment, natural alignment in your body. So it also helps you feel your proprioception in space. Let your feet feel the earth. It's very grounding posture, very calming, rooting, and grounding posture. So that's Tadasana. From here, you're going to inhale, arc your arms all the way up and overhead. And then you're going to exhale, bend your knees deeply and come forward into standing forward fold. So you're going to pause here and notice how this pose stretches out the backs of your hamstrings and your calves. Your calves are super short from wearing shoes all the time. Your hamstrings are short whether you're active or sedentary. They shorten from sitting in chairs and from running and walking and cycling, from going up and down stairs. This pose also helps to calm your mind and it will help to relieve anxiety and stress. And then from here, you're going to step your right foot back and lower your right knee. And this pose is lunge pose. Uncurl your right toes too. This is a great counter pose to all the time you spend sitting in chairs because it opens up the front of your right hip and your chest. And it's also a great place to practice balance. And then you're going to step your left foot back. So you could come onto fists here for your wrists. Tuck your right toes under. You're going to step your left foot back and an option to lower your knees for plank pose. So plank pose is an excellent posture to build your core strength. It will improve your posture and your overall confidence. It's a great weight-bearing posture for your wrists, elbows, and shoulders, so it's fantastic for preventing osteoporosis. It will also stretch out the backs of your toes, and it'll give you the motivation to move into action. So after plank pose comes that dreaded chaturanga, that tricep push-up. So this is really great for strengthening your whole upper body. And for those of you who are trying to get rid of those wavy underarms, this is your pose. So you can either stay onto fists or you can come onto your palms and you're going to slowly lower down onto your stomach, uncurl your toes, and you're going to press into your palms, curl your tailbone under. You're going to inhale, lift up and open up your chest for cobra. So this opens up your chest, your shoulders, and your abdominals. And it's such a great counter pose to all the time that we spend rounded over our screens in our culture. It will elevate your mood for those of you who experience depression. And it'll strengthen your back. It's great for those of you with sciatica. This is actually one of my very favorite poses. So from Cobra, you're going to come back into downward facing dog. You're going to tuck your toes under. This gentle inversion helps to calm your mind, relieve stress and depression. It's a great pose to stretch out the backs of your legs and your spine. And then from here, we're going to do that walk through. So come right up onto your toes, draw up through your belly, and you're going to walk your right knee forward. And you did it. And if you have to take more than one step to get there, that's fine. It doesn't matter. And then it's repeating. So you're back into this lunge pose, which is great for stretching out the front of your hips. And you're going to step your left foot in. So you come into that standing forward fold, which is so calming. And then you're going to inhale, take your arms all the way up overhead. And exhale, bring your hands back to your heart center. So that's considered half a round. We're going to go and do the other half, the other side now. So you're going to inhale, reach your arms up to the sun. And you're going to exhale, bend your knees deeply and fold forward.
Inhale, this time you're going to step your left foot back.
Lower your left knee. And then you're going to step your right foot back. Option to drop your knees. Lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, tuck your toes under. Downward facing dog. Inhale, come up high on your toes, draw up through your belly, draw your knee forward for lunge pose. And then you're going to create that rock. Breathe out, walk your right foot forward. And then breathe in. Reach all the way up. Breathe out. Bring your hands to your heart center. So just take a moment to close your eyes if that doesn't affect your balance too much. Just turn inward. Here on planet Earth, the sun is our primary source of light. And sun salutations can be a way for us to connect with our light within and our self-illumination. Sun salutations are a way of honoring the source of light to our planet and our own self-illumination. When the ancient yogis created this tradition of yoga, they created many of the yoga poses as a reflection of our external world. So poses like the ones that we've done today, like Cobra, were a reflection of what they saw in their day-to-day lives. Likewise, the sun is a metaphor of bowing to our inner light. So Surya Namaskar means to bow to the sun or to bow to your inner light. So you can reflect on that this time through your sun salutations. Okay, so let's go through another round, both sides. You're going to inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend your knees deeply and you're going to fold forward. Inhale, step your right foot back. Lower your right knee. Reach your left foot back. Lower down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Come up high onto your toes. Draw up through your belly. Reach your knee through. Breathe in so you can create that rocking. Exhale, walk your left foot in. Inhale, reach up. And breathe out. Bring your hands back to your heart center, to your light within. And then inhale, reach up again. Exhale, you're going to fold forward, deep knee bend. Inhale, reach your left leg back this time. Exhale, your right leg back. Lower down. Inhale, lift your heart center. Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk your right leg through. Exhale, walk your right leg through. I think I said right leg the first time. I meant to say left leg. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands to your heart center. I did both sides, right? Yeah, good. Okay. I confused myself on the second side. Okay. So we're going to do one more time. Before we do the one more time, I'm going to give you something to focus on your last time here. There are 12 names for the sun in Sanskrit. And Sanskrit is the traditional language of yoga. So not surprisingly, sun salutation includes 12 postures linked together with breath. Sun salutations are incredibly beneficial for your body and are said to be a complete practice in and of themselves. So sun salutations improve your circulation, they stimulate your nervous system and raise your body heat. And when you practice sun salutations, all your joints are lubricated. Your spine also experiences a great practice in flexibility. Sun salutations will strengthen your abdominals, your pelvic floor, your back muscles, and sun salutations will help to clear and calm your mind. So why don't you create an intention of what you want to receive through this last round of sun salutations before we do our twist and come into Shavasana. Okay, so inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold forward deeply. Inhale, step your right foot back. Lower your right knee. Exhale, step your left foot back. Option to lower your knees. Elbows come in, slowly lower down. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come up high into your toes, draw up through your navel. Walk your right foot through. Rock forward. Exhale, walk your left foot through. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Pause and take a breath there before we finish. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, hinge forward through your hips, bend your knees. Inhale, walk your left foot back. Exhale, walk your right foot back. Option to lower your knees. Elbows come straight back. Inhale, lift your heart center. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk your left leg through. Exhale, walk your right leg through. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Pause here. Okay, very good. We did it. We did sun salutations. So I'm so proud of us. We've taught 31 beginner classes, and somebody asked me the other day how I'm a beginner, how do I do sun salutations? And I went and I looked through my classes and I was like, oh my God. We didn't have a single one on sun salutations. Yeah, so I'm really glad we've done this now. Yes, 274 classes in, and we now have a beginner class on sun salutations. So that makes me feel really good, and I feel really good that we did this together. So we're going to finish with a twist, because although sun salutations are a complete practice, you can see you have back bends and forward bends, and there's everything in there, but there really isn't a twist. So you need to make sure, if you're doing this as a practice, it is a great practice, but you need to make sure you add in a twist. So let's do a twist, and I have chosen to do a lying down twist, a reclined twist to finish. So if you want to lie down on your back, and this is where I chose to use my bolster as well. So if you don't have a bolster, which you probably won't, you could use a couple of pillows stacked up, or a sleeping bag, or a rolled up blanket. That would work fine too. You're going to take your arms out to the side in a soft T. Bend your right knee, press into your right foot and tuck your left hip under, and then place your right lower leg on your stack of blankets or pillows or a sleeping bag, and then you're going to look over your right shoulder. Okay, so we'll come back onto our backs. Take your knee back to the center, press into your foot, untuck your hip, and then take your stack of blankets or whatever you've rigged to make a bolster here and put it on the other side. Bend your left knee. Press into your left foot, tuck your right hip under, and place your left lower leg on the bolster. Look over your left shoulder. So you're twisting on the other side. Until you just let yourself relax and let the tension fall out of your body. And then roll back onto your back, press into your left foot, untuck your right hip, and you're going to be right on your back where you need to be for Shavasana to allow yourself to receive your whole practice, to allow your body to integrate your mind and your emotions. And you could use your blankets or your pillows underneath your knees, so especially if you have any low back issues here. Turn your palms up beside you, so you come into your final resting pose, Shavasana. This is really important so that you can receive your practice. You're going to stay here to receive your practice. I'm going to sit up to help you to receive your practice and read you. I have actually 2 poems for you today that relate to our theme of sun salutations today. So just rest back as much as you can here. Let your body sink into the ground. Okay, so today's poem is by Hafiz, and I choose poems that I feel relate well to the theme of the class. And if it resonates with you, great, then you can allow it to sink in and really absorb it and enjoy it. And if it doesn't work at all for you, then that's fine too. Just let it go. Just let it roll right off of you. Okay, so this first poem is by Hafiz, and it says, even after all these years, the sun doesn't say, you owe me. Look what happens. The whole world lights up. And the second one is by Hafiz as well. We have a little Hafiz poem fest going on. It happens all the time in heaven, and someday it will begin to happen again on earth. That men and women who give each other light often will get down on their knees and with tears in their eyes will sincerely speak, saying, my dear, how can I be more loving to you? How can I be more kind? I just thought that worked so well for the sun salutations, because the sun salutation is that moving prayer of going down onto our knees each time. So to me, that could be the prayer. My dear, how can I be more loving to you? How can I be more kind? Okay. So I'm going to teach you how to come out of Shavasana so that you can carry all that goodness from your class out into the world, and you don't create any tension coming out. So you're lying on your back like this. You're going to bend your knees, and then you're going to roll to your right side, and you're going to pause here for a moment. And then you're going to use your hands to help you press yourself up. You're going to let your head be the last thing to come up. So in that way, you don't create any new tension coming out of your Shavasana. So thank you so much for joining me for episode 294 of Namaste Yoga, how to do sun salutations step by step. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up and leave your comments below. Today's comment to leave in the comments is, let me know what was the biggest benefit that you received from the sun salutations, and how do you see sun salutations most helping you in your life. And if you like today's show, then you can always share it with a friend or a coworker or a family member if you think somebody else you know would benefit from today's class. And you can also leave a donation right here. And if you like this beginner's class, we have over 31 other beginner's classes that I will link to in the show notes. And if you want to go deep, there's a really adorable kitty cat over there. If you would like to go deeper with this and learn even more about sun salutations, then we have our resident expert on our membership community. That is such a cute cat. I think it's partly kitten. In our membership community, we have our expert Lisa Kerr, who's an Ashtanga teacher. She teaches Surya Namaskar A and B, and she goes really into detail. And I'm not an Ashtanga teacher, but she goes into detail and teaches you the primary series A and B too, I believe. But that's on our site, and I know our members really enjoy that, and she's just an expert on that. So it was really great to bring her in for that. Yeah, I think that's it. So I am sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. We are here at Government House today in Victoria, BC. So thank you to this beautiful place that we are able to film. And I wish you that you may be as strong as our mountains, may you be rooted as the trees in our forests, and may you experience joy as deep as our Pacific Ocean. Om Shanti, Namaste.
Melissa would love to hear your questions and thoughts. Please leave your comments below the video. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Your reviews help us to share yoga and a yoga lifestyle with others around the world. If you have a question for Melissa, you can leave a voice message at melissawest.com, and Melissa may answer it in an upcoming blog.